So again, good evening and a warm welcome to all of our students and all of our guests. I would like to welcome you to the Phi Theta Kappa Student Induction Ceremony tonight. Phi Theta Kappa is a student honor society. The chapter that we hold at Quincy College is chapter Pi Psi through PTK. My name is Melissa Lord. There I am. And I am...
No picture?
No picture tonight. So my name is Melissa. I am not only the chapter advisor for PTK, but also the student program and wellness coach here at Quincy College. I am not the only wellness coach here, and I'd like to give a warm welcome to Shauna Sweeney, who's our other program and wellness coach here at Quincy College. Thank you, Shauna. Before we begin the program, I would like to recognize certainly Richard DeCristofaro, president of Quincy College. So thank you for being here. As well as members of the leadership team, we have the provost, Dr. Yatten, Jessica Cherry, Megan Giovanoni, Mike Ryan, Elizabeth LaForest, Martin Ahern, Tom Pham, and Mike Moynihan. So welcome. I would also at this time like to recognize our deans. We have Dean Carroll, Dean Manning, Dean Gillis, and Dean Maloney from our Plymouth campus. At this time, it is my pleasure to bring up to the podium our chapter officer through Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, Jake Lozan and Cosmo.
Good evening, everybody. Our first speaker of the evening this evening is a gentleman who has been around the block in the city of Quincy for many years now. He's had quite a journey. He started years ago as an elementary school teacher, and then he went up to middle school, and then high school, and then assistant principal, and then went up into administration, to assistant superintendent, and then superintendent for a long time. And then that brought him to his present day role, president of Quincy College. Without further ado, Dr. Richard DeCristofaro.
And Jake's right, I have been around the block. I think I'm still going, I hope, But, I really, I admire Jake so much. His family, Peter and Michelle and his sister Tess are here. But we talk about a journey, I've known Jake since he began his journey in the Quincy Public Schools, as a star of the drama shows at middle school and high school. But always, always learning, growing, and maturing. And he is an absolute fine young man, and I'm very proud of him. Right, Jake?
Yep.
We got it, baby. All right. All right. Well, welcome to everyone. This is such a meaningful event. We have a lot of events, but this is one of the special, along with commencement, making sure our all-stars are recognized. I want to thank Melissa, of course, and Shauna for the work that they've done. Megan Giovanoni as well did a lot of work to plan and prepare this, so thank you so very, very much. And just congratulations to our inductees, and thank you to all the friends and families that are here to honor them. So as many of you know, and as Jake has said, I started in K-12, which seems like many, many years ago. And there are so many similarities, but there's also so many differences at higher education. One of those differences is how we grade. There aren't those specific comments. You remember those comments, when you were in kindergarten or first or second grade that said how wonderful you were or how not so wonderful you may have been in class. But, so if our professors were going to comment, on our inductees, what would they say? I start out by saying what they would never say about our inductees. They would never say inattentive, distracted, consistently ill-prepared, disruptive, disrespectful, texting too much in class. Never. What they would say to share about our inductees is that the student has an excellent attitude, is an enthusiastic learner, is attentive, is motivated, is determined, consistently persists and perseveres, and continues to reach their full potential while exceeding expectations. Our inductees would also be talked about in a way that are considerate, they're caring, they're respectful, and incredibly thoughtful. All of these correspond to Phi Theta Kappa in looking at leadership and scholarship and fellowship and service. Perfect blend. So our inductees proudly maintain a successful balance of what they are learning through the habits of the mind and with who they are through habits of their heart, which will definitely guide them to success in the classroom and well beyond. We're very, very proud of your accomplishments, and it's great to be here with you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, President DeCristofaro. Next, I would like to welcome up to the podium our Provost and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Yatten.
Thank you, Melissa. Megan, President DeCristofaro, what an honor to serve the college under your excellent, outstanding leadership. But tonight, we are here for our inductees. Good evening, President DeCristofaro, faculty, staff, guests, most importantly, our inductees. Thank you so much for being here. Tonight, we gathered to celebrate you. Not just your academic excellence, but your commitment to grow as scholars, your dedication to community service, and your potential to lead. This ceremony marks an important moment in your life. Your induction into a community that values leadership as much as scholarship. As members of this highly distinguished society, Phi Theta Kappa, you are not only recognized for your achievements, but also called upon to lead by example. Lead by continually pushing boundaries of what you can achieve and inspire those around you to do the same. Embrace this role with enthusiasm and responsibility. Today, this honor is a milestone. Tomorrow, it will be a stepping stone to give you strength and stability to welcome greater challenges. Challenge yourself to persistently learn, grow, and lead, and use these efforts to make a positive impact on Quincy College community and beyond. You are holding the light of learning and knowledge, which you will make larger and brighter to illuminate the path of others to excellence. Congratulations on your remarkable achievement. We are incredibly proud of your success. I have no doubt that we will witness the contributions you will make to the greater society throughout your educational, personal, and professional journey. But I'm so inspired to share this moment as a community and say to each of the inductees personally, thank you for choosing and proudly representing Quincy College. And to our esteemed guests, thank you for supporting your friend, your child, your sibling, your partner along the way. Once again, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, President DeCristofaro and Dr. Yatten. Phi Theta Kappa is a student honor society, as we know, that focuses on leadership, academic excellence, and community service. We would like to show you a short video just to give you a further insight into PTK and what it entails.
The future is yours, even if you're not quite sure what that looks like yet. For over 100 years, Phi Theta Kappa has connected students like you with support, mentorship, scholarships, and resources to build their futures. Our mission is to celebrate your academic accomplishments and help you finance your education, build your professional network, and provide access to career guidance and job preparation tools. Whether your sights are set on transferring to the college of your dreams, or you're ready to jump headfirst into the workforce, PTK is here to help bright students just like you shine even brighter. PTK is more than just an honor society. We're also a community of supportive and diverse students and professionals, ready to help you live your life on your own terms. So no matter what your dreams look like, PTK can help you achieve them. Own your future with Phi Theta Kappa.
Without further ado, I would like to reintroduce and bring up to the podium Jake Lozan, Chapter Officer for Phi Theta Kappa.
Welcome guests, distinguished faculty, Mr. President, Dr. Yatten, our Provost and Chief Academic Officer, students and staff of Quincy College, and my fellow inductees. Good evening. My name is Jake Lozan. I have the great privilege of being the chapter officer for the Quincy College chapter of Phi Theta Kappa. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the layout of my speech. There are two stories within this speech that I would like to leave you with a message after each of them. First of all, I'm sure you've all seen me around campus with my four-legged friend, Mr. Cosmo. So let's get into the stories. This is a story about that I want to tell you a little bit about the moral first, because I want you to think about why this moral is what it is. This is a story about a decision I made at the very last second. First of all, because of my disability of cerebral palsy, I was a unique case that stayed with Quincy Public Schools till I was 22. And once I finished with Quincy Public Schools, I figured out that I would have to take college at a slower speed than the average person, simply because I don't move, or my brain doesn't work as fast as the average person. So I would have to take college at a slower speed. So I made the decision that I would go to a community college and take 2 classes a semester. Then here's the thing about the last minute. I applied to 2 schools, Quincy College and another community college in Massachusetts. At first, I thought I wanted to come or go to that other community college to seek a degree in arts with a communications focus. But there were other factors I had to consider. So while my mom and I were reading the program track with all the classes for their degree in arts with a communications focus. It was all these classes that I wasn't certain if I wanted to take. So, but I was also looking at certificate programs at Quincy College. So my mom finally said to me, "Are all of these classes truly something you want to take?" So I said, "Let me think about it for a day or two." And the more I thought about it, I said, "You know what? Forget this. I'll just go for a couple of certificates at Quincy College." So that's what I did. So the moral of the story is, I get sometimes last-minute decisions are made at the very last minute, but sometimes they're the best decisions. So I hope to give you that message for that part, and the second part of my speech is another story I want to tell you. As I spoke about earlier, I'm one with the physical disability of cerebral palsy, and my brain doesn't work as fast as the average person, and I don't retain information as fast as the average person. So something I have to tell you is I'm in the process of getting 2 certificates at Quincy College. I'm in the gerontology certificate program, and I'm in the entrepreneurship certificate program. And I wish I had taken high school a little bit slower, because I would have gotten better grades in high school if I had taken it a little bit slower. But it is what it is, and look at where I am now. I have to tell you guys that I, at one point, was told by somebody that I was dreaming too high and that I was never going to make it in college. I have good news for you today. I currently have a cumulative GPA of 3.77, and my averages for this semester are a 97 and a 94. So the message I would love to leave this speech with is, don't let anybody or anything ever stop you. In the end, I would like to encourage all the new inductees to get involved with behind-the-scenes work with Phi Theta Kappa, which it would be just attending weekly meetings or getting involved with the community service efforts next year. I would like to say congratulations to all of our new inductees. Thank you.
I'll use it like this, that's easier. I want to thank Jake for such an inspiring speech. Jake, thank you so much. What a great message. And we're glad to have you as part of PTK. Next up, I would like to bring to the podium our guest speaker for the evening, Laurel Kornheiser, PhD, staff faculty at Quincy College.
Good evening, and I am really honored to be here. I'd like to acknowledge President Di Cristofaro and Provost Yachten, as well as thank you, Melissa, for inviting me here, and Megan for your work, of course, the deans and all the executive staff. I am really honored to be here to talk to you tonight. And I'd like to start by asking the inductees a question, and you just have to raise your hand. Would you consider yourself a curious person? If you think you're a curious person, if you could raise your hand, I would appreciate that. Good, it looks like most of you. That was a rhetorical question, actually, because I think to myself that if you are here being inducted into Phi Theta Kappa, it means you are a curious person. And your curiosity is not your average run-of-the-mill, who's going to end up with who on Love Island, for instance, or, you know, what's the newest TikTok challenge. I think it even goes beyond, you know, I'm going to do a deep dive on Wikipedia on this subject. I think to be curious the way you're curious, it must be intellectual curiosity. And I'm here to tell you tonight that I hope that you see your intellectual curiosity as the gift that it is. And I hope that you're proud of that gift, and that you nurture that gift, and that you end up sharing that gift with the world, because the world really needs intellectually curious people. I think that to define intellectual curiosity, it's really a lot of questions. Intellectually curious people want to know why something is the way it is. They want to go beyond curated material that some kind of an algorithm has sent them to. They want to find out for themselves. They want to ask why something is, how something works, why it works the way it does. Is there another way for it to work? Intellectual curiosity does things like, you know, I think of the story of George de Mistral, who was hiking one day and noticed all these birds were sticking to him and sticking to his dog's fur. And he took it back to his lab. He was an engineer. He took it back to his lab and put it on a microscope, and voila, next thing you know, we had Velcro, right? That's intellectual curiosity. It's the kind of curiosity that says, okay, we've been to the moon. Can we colonize Mars? Can we pull back the curtain of the black hole and see what's behind that? It is wondrous, and it is infinite. And you're really lucky that you have this intellectual curiosity. I think about the way I start all my English Comp 1 classes. I always, when it's time for them to do their research project, I always have them start with a list. Write 15 things you're curious about. And I want them to start with a list of curiosity and a question. If they start saying, yeah, I want to do this subject because I know this, I think no, because you're not going to be open to the possibilities. And as a teacher, my heart really, really sings when they're giving their oral presentations, which, like they hate public speaking, but they get up there and they do it anyway, right? And, you know, and they say things like, I was really interested to find out blah, 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 or fun fact here I didn't know before, or my research showed me this. As a teacher, that just is all I can ask for, is for them to have made a discovery through that process. Even one of my students in my online modern novel class, in a presentation, they had to do an oral presentation on something that was related to anything from 1900 to 1945 that may have influenced modern novels. And one young woman's presentation was on Albert Einstein, and she started off by saying, I'm going to present on Albert Einstein and tell you all kinds of things that you probably don't know about him, and tell you most of the things you think you know about him are wrong. And so I was like, great. She didn't just go the same route everyone else went. She found out for herself and found out some fun things. And there's a great Einstein quote on curiosity. He says, I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. So you're in good company, Phi Theta Kappa inductees. As a professor, of course, I have intellectual curiosity, but it was something that developed over time. When I was a community college student, like a lot of you, I wondered why I had to take certain courses, you know, but they were core courses, and I'm like, okay, I'm told to take them, I will take them. I had no idea how things were going to connect later on. And I think that that's one thing we don't realize, that not every course that doesn't speak to our major or to a future job, it might show up in interesting ways you don't expect. When I was working on my dissertation for Northeastern, I knew I wanted to work with Henry David Thoreau's Walden. It's my favorite book. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was like, okay, he's got some passages on the train. It's a new thing in the 1830s, 1840s. I want to see if, what he said about it and what other writers of the time said about it. Little did I know, next thing I was going to be studying economics, because of course the train leads to department stores and consumerism and advertising. I also found out that because the train goes really fast, people's eyesight had to learn to adjust to that, which allowed them to scan department stores when they started shopping for all those goods. So that was my fun fact. But also simultaneously, as time was speeding up and distance was shortening because of the train, there were all these discoveries being made of geology, because Charles Lyell had just published his Principles of Geology. And so people who thought that Earth and life here was only 10,000 years old, we're finding out it was millions of years old. And this laid the groundwork for Darwin's work, of course. And so I thought, that's interesting. So right when the train is speeding things up, we're finding out about this deep, long time. And interestingly, the 4 works I was working on with my dissertation all had those same elements in them. All 4 had the train, economics, and deep time, as well as a mention of dinosaur bones, because they were being discovered when they were digging the tunnels for the trains, and Darwin. So you never know what kinds of areas you're going to get drawn into, but if you're intellectually curious, you're just open to them, right? So I want to just tell you too that, one of the gifts that intellectual curiosity gives you is that you're never going to be bored. There's an infinite number of things to discover and to pursue in this amazing experience that we have. Second of all, you're always going to be able to talk to anyone. If you're intellectually curious, you're not afraid to say, I don't know, tell me about what you do. Tell me about your experience. I want to hear your point of view, and I want to hear why you have that point of view. So that's why the world needs the intellectually curious. They're not afraid to ask questions, and they're not afraid to be exposed to different types of thinkers. I also want to tell you that sometimes being intellectually curious can save your sanity. I have students sometimes that come to me and they say, I wasn't in class for the last 3 weeks because I had a bad breakup, or I've got all this family drama. And I tell them that's exactly when you want to be in class, because coming to school, going into intellectual subjects gives your mind a break from that. And I found that out in my own experience. 24 years ago, I lost my soulmate husband. He was a pilot. He ran a couple of flying businesses. We had 2 young children, and he died in a plane crash. And I was left with his 2 businesses. I was left with my 2 young children, and I had my own job, and I was, trying to get started on this dissertation. I had all those books on geology and economics sitting in the corner. And it was turning to those books over and over and over again in the years to come that saved my sanity, because it gave me a place to go that wasn't filled with grief or stress. It was a place where my mind could relax into some other types of material. So I'm not joking when I say that it can save your sanity. So when all else fails, pick up a really interesting book and give it a read. You don't know what you might find, right? So just to leave you with this. Today, AI is very much like the train was in the 1800s. It is a thing of curiosity. It is rapidly changing the landscape of our experience. But I want to say one thing I think AI can't do, as sentient as it gets. I think that it cannot ever say, I found this interesting, or here's a fun fact that's fascinating. I think that's up for the intellectually curious to continue to pursue all your studies and your interests and see where they lead and share them with the world. And Jake, I want to thank you so much. I was afraid to come up after you. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be a hard act to follow. And I'm so grateful that you shared your lessons. And I hope that all of you take away this lesson, that you never know what you might find, what that Dr. Seuss book says, oh, the places you'll go. So this is what intellectual curiosity, and this is what absolute persistence will do for you. So congratulations, inductees. Thank you again for having me here to speak to you tonight.
Thank you so much, Laurel. That was such an inspiring speech and such a great message for our students. And one other thing I wanted to add before we call you all up to get your student certificates and your formal induction into Phi Theta Kappa, I do want to recognize just all of the academic excellence and, perseverance and motivation that goes into, what you all are doing here at Quincy College. We know that life, we juggle families, we juggle employment, we juggle outside stressors if those come up. And to be able to maintain those GPAs and just kind of stick with your studies and your classes, huge accomplishment. And I just want to say that and just want to recognize that for you all. And just to say, as your chapter advisor, how proud I am of you. So thank you. So here's the fun part. Next, I would like to welcome back up to the podium President DeCristofaro and Dr. Yatten to assist me with handing out student certificates and white roses. We are going to call up students in alphabetical order. We will call your names out. What I'm going to have you all do as I call your names is come to the center row and cross around. You will get a certificate from President DeCristofaro and a white rose from Dr. Yatten. So let's begin. Just a side note, I will be announcing the students that also did not have a chance to be with us this evening, and I just want to do that to highlight everyone's success and academic excellence, so thank you. The first person on our list, which I believe is here, there she is, yes, Anuala Adieni. Next, we have Samuel Jean Baptiste, who I believe is not with us. Next, we have Christy Ann Campos. Ryan Cefalo. Kristen Chesna. Bemnet Desta. Bianca Dona. Ah, just in time. Come on up, come on up.
Sorry, I just came off work.
No worries. Bianca, you're welcome to come on up and grab your certificate and your white rose.
Oh, you guys are gonna make me cry. I'm sorry.
Next up, we have Gail Drummond. Ramu Freeth. Taryn Geary. Kenneth Ibarra. Next up, we have Bryant James. Next, we have Christopher Lassetier. Ridge McGee. Inez Medeb. Stanislaus Miklowski. Shane Murphy. Vincy Nguyen. Rowan Noel. Kelly O'Brien. Murad Fabalas. Alexandra Polito. Spencer Poulin. Brianna Rosa. Sia Santiago. Joseph Sargent. Jacqueline Strezak. An Tran. Tai Dung Vo. Kelsey Zebniak. Gina Zhang. So that concludes all of our new inductees for this chapter year for Phi Theta Kappa. Before we move on to the actual induction pledge for new inductees, I would like to also again recognize Jake Lozan with a certificate for being chapter officer of Phi Theta Kappa. My apologies. Sorry, gotta give you that. Sorry, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jake and I have done some hard work on Phi Theta Kappa this year, so I do want to recognize that. Thank you. At this time, we will be doing the induction pledge for all new student inductees. So I'm going to have all of the students please rise. To all new inductee students for Phi Theta Kappa, I am pleased to present these candidates for membership into our Honor Society through our chapter through Quincy College. These students have fulfilled all requirements for membership and have been selected because they have chosen scholarship, leadership, and fellowship as their service hallmarks. I recommend them for acceptance into the Alpha Pi Psi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Everyone, please join me in congratulating these new student inductees. Great job to all the new students. You may be seated. To close out the ceremony tonight, I just wanted to say once again, thank you so much, first and foremost, to our students and their academic excellence and their maintenance of that. I'm excited for next year to get you guys involved with PTK. Jake and I will be sending you out meeting notices as well as community service ideas, and we welcome your feedback. I want to thank all of the guests who have joined us tonight, as well as staff, faculty, and the leadership team. I am pleased to work with such a great team and a great group of students. At this time, we will have refreshments and there will be picture opportunities. So thank you all and have a great night. Thank you.